And this morning we are joined in studio by an iconic name in English football.
Now Gascoigne. Right. Gascoigne again. Lovely move and terrific goal.
Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know. Oh, I say! Brilliant! That is schoolboy's own stuff.
It's the buzz going around the ground as he picks up the ball. It's Gascoigne! And a wonderful goal!
Gascoigne doesn't need them. Can he finish it now? He can! A fantastic goal by Paul Gascoigne.
Walsh, Gascoigne, it really is going somewhere now. It's a brilliant goal, and that's what he can do. And the crowd loved it.
Yep. Born out of the northeast, his career took him from England to Italy and Scotland. An FA Cup winner with Spurs and a 2-times champion at Rangers. 57 caps for England. I could go on, but let's hear from the man himself. We eagerly look forward to this. Paul Gascoigne, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
You all right? Good to see you, Simon and Martin.
Good to see you.
And yourself, Jim, as well, sorry.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, first and foremost, and you know why I'm asking, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm enjoying life at the moment. You know, I've done a bit of fly fishing while I've time off, I suppose, but it's all right down Poole, down in Bournemouth. Yeah, the weather's all right.
Nice part of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Did you bump into Souness down there? Did you bump into Souness down there? Or do you
yeah, no, a couple of times when he's pedalling along the beach with his top off.
Oh.
He smudged like he's a handsome chap. So at least he got rid of that syrup he used to wear. Yeah, with his curly top. But yeah, Souness and Harry, I bump into Harry now and again.
You see Harry Redknapp down there.
Just in Bedford. Yeah, that's the time I see him, I think.
Is it a good place for you to live, Paul?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice area. I mean, you know, the weather's nice and all that, and there's the fishing. I love fishing, so it's not bad for the fly fishing up there as well. Well, it's about 45 minutes away, but yeah, I get left alone, so it's okay.
And just in the passing, nice for you to renew your acquaintances with this man,
great
Martin.
to see Paul with a smile on your face.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not
Back
bad.
again, we had lots of memories.
Quite
the
a few.
21's team, we first came across each other.
Yeah, we did.
I remember you driving to a game, and
I used to be a good guy till I met you as well. All right.
you had 5 mates turned up, didn't you, for your first on the 21's game?
Yeah.
You went straight to the bar, and I think you were a little bit nervous. You weren't sure how you were going to be introduced to everybody, and you had this sort of
in the bar or on the pitch.
Well, on the pitch, you had loads of confidence. You were never really, lacking in confidence on the pitch. But off the pitch, I think you wanted that little bit of protection around you. Tell me about those early days on the 21s, because remember some of the guys, Dave Sexton.
Yeah, he was a tough cookie, wasn't he? I mean, I remember he had to go at everyone, but I remember I scored on my debut, and there was no one in the crowd. And I think my dad was over then, and I scored, and there was nowhere to celebrate. So I went, so I jumped over the fence and celebrated on the motorway.
I remember.
Yeah, we had the motorway to the cars. I just scored.
So listen, you've got this book out, Paul Gascoigne 8. And I'll just hold it up to camera for the viewers. The real Gazza revealed for the first time. But here's the thing, 8, Paul, has a significance, doesn't it? It's about 8 emotions that have run riot.
They have.
Your life.
Sort of.
Trust, joy, anticipation, anger, sadness, surprise, fear, and disgust.
But the one when I was doing with the ghostwriter, she said about the 8 demons sort of thing, and I went, yeah. And I went, I only know 3 really, so OCD, alcoholic and addict. And she went, I said, that's it. She went, oh, we'll Google you. I went, oh, no. And she went, that's 4, that's 5. I went, just put $88 and just get on with it. Yeah.
The 8 demons, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 8 emotions that sum
just
up
when I wake up, like every morning, you know, these sort of things I try and put in place before I leave the house as such, and most of them as well, you know.
I mean, as you get older, Paul, are you reflecting on your life and your career in a different way?
I find it hard to watch football. You know, some of the clips when I think, God, I wish I had that back, you know. You know, I wish, you know, when I finish playing, it's like it's such. I think, God, you know, would have done this when I was playing, but you know, like, you know, so. You know, I loved that 90 minutes because that was my freedom. You know, obviously, especially after the World Cup, I got followed every day, you know, for the press and the lies. And like, sometimes I coped with it well, sometimes I didn't. And then I just thought, you know, I just thought I've got 90 minutes to enjoy myself. And I did. I made sure I enjoyed every, you know, for them. Oops, my sister.
That'll be the publisher.
And I'm on the phone. I mean, I'm on the radio. See you later. Sorry.
It proves we're live, ladies and gentlemen. It proves we're live. Simon, you must have been on your feet when you watched this guy play.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched him play. I mean, I'm a similar age to Paul. I went to the 96 game against Scotland. I had players in my dressing room, Curtis Fleming, that played with him at Middlesbrough, so I got the stories of Paul. But as a player, you talk about players. He knows this. He doesn't need me to say it, or anyone else to say it. There are generational great players, and there are opportunities that these players create on a field that most don't. And with great genius often comes troubles. You know, I knew George Best relatively well. I think it's not a controversial point to make that one of the most talented footballers that the country's ever produced is George Best, and one of the other ones, or the Isles, has produced is Paul Gascoigne. And both of them affected games in a way that the average player couldn't. What Paul could do with the ball and what he could make the opposition be wary of is very rare. Taking players out of the game, creating space. What that 1990 World Cup did for him individually probably challenges it as a result of it as well, because of the collective media attention into every aspect of your life, from who you got married. So I was reading the Mail column yesterday. I read the piece yesterday. Peter Beers just texted me this morning saying, make sure you look after Gazza.
Did he? Yeah.
But I was reading the serialization of your book. So yeah, of course. I mean, of course, you can't help but look at Paul Gascoigne and think various emotions, like what talent.
Yeah.
A degree of empathy, and a degree of wistfulness about, and I suspect he has that in his own life.
We're going to get onto some of that media attention, Paul, and I witnessed it. I would say I was part of it to an extent in your time at Scotland when you were at Rangers. You pulled on the shirt of Newcastle, Tottenham, Lazio, Rangers, Middlesbrough, Everton, England. Where were you happiest?
Rangers, I love Rangers, because when I was younger, when I was 15, where I lived, there was two guys that were Scottish, and I always talked about the Celtic Rangers derby, and that's all they ever talked about it, you know. And you talk about genius. It's funny, just when he said that, it was what I always remember Walter Smith. He said, "I need to see you now upstairs in the top tier." And I said, "What's wrong?" He says, "I've got to leave you be. You're a genius." I went, "What does that mean?" He says, "You've got to do to let you do what you want, and no one does that with me." And he grabbed us by the throat and throttled us. And he went, "You better score tomorrow." I did. I made sure I got a couple of goals. But I remember when he said, because he got in trouble with him once, and he went, "All right, and you better get me a brace tomorrow." I went, "Okay then." I went to the shop and bought a brace. I didn't realise the brace was 2 goals. So I bought him a brace. I went, "There you go, Gaffer." He went, "No, I've been 2 goals. Lucky enough, I got a hat-trick." So.
You loved your time at Rangers. Is there any truth in the talk that before you played for them at Celtic Park, you were in the boardroom briefly?
Yeah,
and you poured yourself a large whiskey.
Yeah, that was one of them, and I scored as well. So and then it was a cup final, and it was like I didn't have the bet. I had a row with Coys just before the half time, and I apologised, and then the gaffer went, "It was you. Have you had a drink?" I went, "No, honestly." He went, "Go and get one." I went, "Oh, cheers, gaffer." And I went in the boardroom and I got 9 brandies, and I went, "I've had a drink now." He went, "Go out," and I scored 2 in 10 minutes and got man of the match. Then afterwards he went, "Right, you home, we're all going out, you've had your drink." So I went, "Oh God, please let us come." He went, "No." So I went home and I thought, you know what, I knew where they were with the players' wives, so I turned up naked and ended up dancing on the team. He just went off it again the next morning. I got a 3rd tier again. You used to always go to the 3rd tier and know it was about stranglers. But yeah, I loved it up there. My time was fantastic, because when he come to it, I remember when my agents were talking to Lazio about what club I should go to, and when he said Glenn Hoddle,
who's your agent? Mel Steen?
Yeah, Mel Steen was at the time, and I went, "No, I'm not going there." "Oh, Aston Villa." When he said Rangers, so I went, "No." I said, "I'm not going." So I'm walking out, and Dino's off went, "Glasgow Rangers." And I went, "Oh, I thought you meant Queen's Park Rangers." "Yeah, okay, get him over." So as my agents were talking, I spoke to Walter. I says, "I'm coming, don't worry, I'll take a massive drop in wages. I want to go to Rangers." Within a week, that was it, you know.
I mean, Walter turned up in Italy to speak to you directly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Come to us, come to Rangers.
Come to Rangers. He said it was his son, because I remember it was 4 years before that, wasn't Tampa holiday, Sarasota, that was it.
Yeah.
And he was there. And I went with my ex-wife. I went, see that guy over there? I says, I'd love to play for him one day. And then 4 years later, I did, you know. Yeah, so...
you did love it there, didn't you?
Yeah, he just said, you know, what you do, you get your smile back on your face, because we took over Lazio. We had a new manager, Zeman, was from Yugoslavia, and I didn't get on well with him. So he said, you'd enjoy your football, yeah, you know, and you'd play with a smile, and the lads are good banter. And I did. I mean, Coys, was straight up my case, and Durante in the dressing room straight away. It was... well, I got my own back on Gordon Jury. I know that with the 2 trout. Because I remember, because we were coming to Euro 96, and I used to go fishing in the morning. I caught 2 trout, and I went in the dressing room. And Gordon Jury every day, because the Euro was coming up and saying, we're going to batter, you're going to batter. You just hammered us every day. So I come in the training ground with 2 trout. Look where I caught, and Gordon Jury again. You bought them. So I wasn't training. Neither was Coisty. So they went out training. I went, if you like, give us Gordon Jury's car case. So I got his car case, and I put 1 trout in the boot. And Coisty went, you see that? I went, that's the idea. I said, I went in front of his car and I squeezed it in the front seat. I went, he won't say that, will he? So after training, he's got ready. He went and come back in the dressing room with 1 trout. He went, you never catch me out, Gazza. I went, yeah, you're right. 2 weeks later, he went, where's the other trout, Gazza? Please tell me. He couldn't sell the car. So I had to buy him a new car, 70 grand. I was gutted.
Paul Gascoigne, you were gutted. A story about fish, and Gazza was gutted.
Well, what happened was...
The one and only Paul Gascoigne in studio with Simon, myself and Martin Keown this Monday morning. Paul's got a new book out, 8, The Real Gazza, revealed for the first time. And I'm looking forward to getting well into that later on today and tonight. Gazza in studio with us for the next half hour, maybe longer. We shall see how it goes. Mr. Gascoigne, we're all on tenterhooks, but that's what you bring. And we love it. The unpredictability of the man. So many people found that, not least this fella, Martin Keown, sitting beside me, who played against him. But here's the thing, Gazza, you won titles at Rangers and an FA Cup with Spurs, and we often talk about sliding doors moments in sport, and maybe this was yours, because back in 1988 there was a man called Alex Ferguson who really wanted you, and Sir Alex has spoken about the moment he knew he wanted to sign Paul Gascoigne.
And my 3 centre midfield players were Robson, Whiteside and Moses, 3 very competitive footballers and great footballers, and he absolutely tore them apart. He tore them apart. Ended up in one situation, he nutmegged Remy Moses right in front of me in the dugout, and went up to Remy after he did it and patted him on the head. And I was out that dugout, get that little so-and-so. And Robbo and Whiteside are chasing him up and down the pitch and couldn't get near him. And I says, after the game, I says to the chairman, don't leave here, get on that, into that chairman in Newcastle. I've got to get this boy. He's the best I've seen for years and years.
Now then, Gazza, take up the story, because the story goes that you promised Sir Alex that you would sign for him in Manchester United, right? What happened?
Well, just when I stopped, I was fearless of anyone. I wasn't giving a who I played against. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't worried, you know, what team it was, and didn't realise how good these 3 were, really. I knew how good Brian Robson was, but I just had a row. I nutmegged Remy Moses in front of the dugout, and he was going off at Remy because I took the biggie out, but he come up to us, and he was only So I put my hand on top of his head, look, where's he? And I went, oh, there you are. And obviously he went off it. And then obviously after the game, and he rang up the house, and I went, Dad's Alex Ferguson. And I spoke to him, he says, look, I want you to sign for Rangers. So I went, yeah, okay.
You want to sign for United?
Sorry, for Man United. So I went, yeah, definitely, I really want to sign for you, I'll definitely sign. He said, well, I'm going on holiday, when I get back, will you be at Old Trafford? I went, yeah, definitely. So, okay, I'll see you at Old Trafford, cheers. So, like, for 2 days, I'm like, Dad, Man United, I'm going to Man United. He's like, good on you, son. And then the phone goes, it's Irvin Scholar. So I went, Dad, it's Irvin Scholar, Tottenham. He went, no, tell me you're going to Man United. I went, my dad said I'm going to Man United. He went, well, tell your dad, if you sign for Spurs, I'll give him 120 grand. So I went, Dad, if I sign for Spurs, he's going to give you 120 grand. My dad went, What the F are you waiting for then, son? Get it signed.
Oh.
So then I get close to Tottenham, and about 100 yards away, I passed Old Trafford and I'm shaking. And I get 100 yards from the ground and the phone goes again. It's my sister. What do you want? Well, if Mum's getting a house and my dad's getting a car, I want a sunbed. So I says, I'll definitely say that we buy my sister a sunbed. So he bought my sister a sunbed. It blew the house up. The bulbs were more powerful than the sunbed there was in the house.
Do you look at that time, Paul? Do you think, we all have sliding doors moments, do you look at your career and think the direction of travel that you'd have gone on? You went to play for Venables at Spurs, who you had a great relationship with, right? When you look at Ferguson, you look at the Man United side, and you look at the build that was coming, do you look at it and go, my career, my culture around me, you might have avoided the London set, because I don't think that the Danny Bakers, and with all due respect to Chris, helped you in your career. Do you think that going to United might have been a different direction for you? Well, that team
finished higher than Man United, not realising like the Becks and the Scholes coming through the next season, because the next season they won the league after that. You know, they were flying and buzzing, And I'm thinking, I look back and think if it wasn't Terry Venables, because I remember when I played against Spurs, I scored a couple. The first 3 games were Liverpool man of match, Man United man of match, and 2 against Spurs and that. And I'm walking off, and I was sponsored by Hummel. Remember, my contract was $3,000 a year for wearing the boots. But Tottenham had Hummel as well. And Terry Venables passed it, well, at least you've got the right boots on. And I looked and didn't realise what he meant. But he just said, if you sign for me, I'll have you playing for England within 10 games. And I really want to play for England. But at that time, they had Brian Robson and Neil Webb playing for
United.
Yeah. And God bless Neil Webb. He doesn't know this, but like two of them always play together with England. And I'm like, I'm never going to get a game yet. And like, I'm probably the only happiest man in the country at the time when Neil Webb got injured against Sweden, did his Achilles. I was like, oh, never mind. But inside, I was like, yes, my chance now, you know.
But here's the thing, Gazza, if you'd played for Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly.
This story might have been so different.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And the medals.
Yeah.
Would he have got hold of you? You wouldn't have messed about with Sir Alex,
definitely
would you?
Not. No.
You would have listened to him.
I went to Man United.
He might even have put you from there to there as a player.
I mean, look, 4 years ago, I went to watch Man United play with Katie, my manager at the time. Mm-hmm. And I went to the Man United game and I'm sitting in the lounge bed and a fella comes up and says, Fergie wants to see you now in his office. I went, oh God. I still start shaking then. When his office, he went, you come here, you little bee. You went, that should have signed for me. And I went, oh no, and I was still shaking then, you know.
So do you imagine what he could have done in a United shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I think Paul, you're a guy that acts in the moment, aren't you? I mean, when you hear the stories, what you say, what you do, you expressed yourself so well. Maybe not in the right way sometimes. You said what you were thinking.
Yeah.
Some outrageous things you said. The Norwegian TV asked to speak to you.
No filter.
Yeah.
You gave them a little personal message and you told them where to go. Do you know?
Yeah.
So that was always
for that.
You had this sort of thing in your head. But on a football pitch, I mean, as a player, I mean, where did you get that arrogance and confidence to be playing? You're playing against Paul McGrath, top players at the time, bro. Brian Robson. So he sees that in that first game. Where's that giving you? Where's that confidence coming from such a young man?
I never really watched. I used to watch the old match of the day when I was younger, and I used to watch. I watched Cruyff do that turn. And I went, I'm going to try that. So I got the ball straight outside and practiced it straight away. And I don't know. Sometimes, like some of the stuff I did on the pitch, I don't know how I did it, and I'll go back home and I'll watch it on TV. Like the old match of the day, and think, God, how did I do that?
Was it to be the centre of attention, to be the top man? What was driving you on the football pitch?
I don't know. I used to like Tottenham was funny. I used to say to the guys, before the game, do us a favour, lads. I'm really tired of getting man of the match after games. Can someone do well today so I don't have to go upstairs and get pestered? I'd say the England players, do us a favour, guys. Just if you're tired, give us a ball. I'll keep a hold of it for 5 minutes, and then you can have it back. And I'll just some of the things I used to say to them.
Do you know what? We're going to talk England the other side of 11 o'clock. Who's your all-time favourite player?
Brian Robson is unbelievable. I mean, he come back from 3 broken legs and his collarbone, but he's just. Just when I made my debut for him, I always remember when he played for us, West Bromwich Albion, that header he scored. And I just thought, what a player he was. And it was just when I played for England, and we're walking onto the pitch for my first debut game, and he went, Gazza, look, leave any of the challenges, leave them for me, I'll take the knocks, because I'm coming to the end of my career and that, and you're just starting yours, or any of the headers, I'll take the stitches and that. I mean, I wish I'd have took notice of him. Like,
there was a
36 operations.
great aura around Brian, wasn't there?
Yeah, unbelievable. The respect that the players had for him, like, you know what I mean?
Listen, we want to get into the England situation, and looking back, Martin can come in it with me on this, because Simon, as an England fan, Italia 90, you must have thought this is it. Your first call up for England in 1988 by Sir Bobby Robson. What did that, Italia 90, when you look back at it, what did that do for you in terms of your own popularity, your own projection and your profile?
I don't know, I just remember after the World Cup, because Bobby Robson, not like today's players where the wives go out and all, but he wouldn't let us ring home after games. He didn't let us read newspapers or watch anything or TV what was going on back home, so we didn't know anything. I just now and again slide my phone into when I was having a shower and call me, Dad, how am I doing? Yeah, doing all right, son. Okay, I've got to go now. And hide the phone, so he'd never watch it. But Bobby Robson was like, you're not going anywhere. And I remember him calling me daft as a brush. I went out trading with a brush in my sock, and he recognised it. He went, I know it said, move it. Okay. But he followed us everywhere I went in that World Cup, There was a couple of times I wanted a drink, and I used to get a cappuccino and a Baileys and take the froth off the cappuccino and put it on top of the Baileys. That was like, had a couple of them a slide, but it was just one time where he'd give us all a day off, and I can't sunbathe. I'm from Newcastle, and all the players were sunbathing, and I'm walking about, what can I do? And I seen a cocktail hut on the beach. I went, oh, that'll do me. So I go there on my own. It's just one guy working in the cocktail hut, and I gives a pina colada. So he gives a pina colada, and I thought, this is a life, playing for my country in the World Cup. Son, just qualified to play against Belgium. I love pina colada, I love it. I get Gazza. I went, oh no. It's him. He's going to go mad with us. So he went, what you got there? And I just remember, I've got a strawberry milkshake, Gaffer. He went, give me a taste that. I went, oh no. I've looked behind the guy, Bobby Robson, and I went, don't. So he cottoned on and gave him a milkshake. So this is unbelievable. So I'm like, oh no. So he's tried his milkshake. He went, this is different. He said, does it taste yours again? And then he tasted mine. He went, and then he tasted his, and he went, hold on, this is not the same. And the guy went, what do you mean? He went, where's my umbrella in cherry and sword? Oh, well, that's it. I've got to be with that. So, but 8 pina coladas later, I'm like, England.
No, I'm not going to let you off, because we will, maybe in the final part today, we'll talk about where you're at regards alcohol and other things. But anyway, we'll get to that. Gazza, in Italia 90, the booking, the infamous moment, the tears on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean,
you got booked, and you knew that would put you out of final if England had got there. I mean, how do you reflect on that?
I was actually thinking, I honestly thought, at the end of that game, I thought my career, that was the end of my career, not knowing I was only 22 and a half. But people didn't realise as well, before going out that, I remember getting stopped, walking out the tunnel, I got stopped by the owner of Juventus. And he went, I own Juventus, I own Fiat. He went, after this tournament, will you sign for Juventus? I'm like, wow, I'm just about to play against Germany. In 5 minutes, he wants to sign with Juventus. So I had that in my mind. But
Mr. Agnelli.
Yeah, that's it, Mr. Agnelli. But I think, I had the best time of my life. Training every day with the guys, playing in the World Cup. And our fans were fantastic, And I had such a laugh there. I was playing table tennis every day, playing tennis every day. I was I remember taking... These players spent half an hour with us, right? Half an hour. And I remember one time I was bored and Brian Robson got injured. He did his Achilles or whatever. So I remember going into the toilet and coming out, the swim pool with a toilet roll around my head, around my arm, and walked in front of Bobby Robson. He went off it. He went, I can't believe it. I've lost me captain. And look, what's happened to you now? I went, I slipped in the swimming pool. And he's absolutely hated us. And all the lads were laughing, and I just took the bands off. I went, I'm only joking, Gaffer. And just like, come back, yeah, no, you. But he was after us. But, you know, the night before the semi-final, I was rooming with Chris Waddle, and it was 11 o'clock at night. And I went, Chris, I've got to go for a walk. And he went, you can't go for a walk. I said, you got a big game tomorrow. Probably biggest game in your life, semi-final of the World Cup. Well, no, I'll be back. I won't be long. So as I left the room, I heard two guys playing tennis. And I went, I like tennis. I'm going to play this. So I'm playing tennis for like till 10 to 1 in the morning.
With total stranger?
Yeah, two strangers. I've played them on my own, and I was sweating my nuts off.
The night before the semi-final?
Yeah, and I just...
Like mad in a tennis court.
Once again, I just heard, Gazza? Gazza, it was Bobby Robson again. He must be watching every move I made. So I've turned around and I've looked at him. He's walked past me. I've dropped the racket. I can hear him shouting at these two Americans. Do you not realise who he is? He's got the biggest game in his life. And you're playing. They must have looked at him. So I ran to the room and I went to Chris Waddle. I says, Chris, if anyone knocks on the door, he's not knowing. Bobby Robson just tell him I'm sleeping. He went, yeah, okay. So I've gone to bed and the door, honestly, it was like nearly getting smashed in. Chris went, who's that? He went, it's a Gaffer. Where is he? Oh, he's sleeping. Sleeping? He's just been playing tennis for 45 years. You're telling me he's sleeping? Chris looked at me, he went, have you? And I just went, and then I just heard a bit of a piece of paper come through the door, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. And then he went, he says, I can't believe it. He says, I've already called you daft as a brush. Last night, what you did was not normal, but you're not normal, are you? I went, no. And he says, but today you're playing against Luther Matthias, the best midfield player in the world. And I looked at Sir Bobby Robson and I went, no, I am. And I walked off. I always remember looking around after about 20 yards and he's still going, come here.
Shaking his head.
Yeah, going off it.
Listen, guys, I fast forward to 98 and the World Cup, and Glenn Hoddle was in there. He told you weren't going to the World Cup finals with England in 1998. And your reaction was a crazy one.
I think we fell out because he said, Gazza, I found God. And I says, that must have been a great pass.
What happened?
I don't know. I know all the players went out, and I was like with Chris Evans that night. And obviously someone took a picture and it went in the newspapers. And 6 of the players were still in Soho at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And not one of them hit the papers. And then, I was obviously going through a divorce thing. And he just must have thought I was right for the tournament, which I was right, It was nice of all the players to say, we're doing better if Gazza was here in the World Cup. But I was devastated.
You made that squad, Mark.
Yeah, that was the year we won the double, Arsenal, the double, and there was quite a lot of us involved. And I remember you were at poolside and you were like, I think you knew you weren't going, Paul.
Yeah,
I think you had that
because I was so close with Glenn Roeder. And I went in the room where Glenn Roeder was obviously picking his squad. He obviously had a word with the coaches. And I looked at Glenn Roeder and he just stared at us. And it's not like Glenn normally like putting my arm around us or whatever. And he just didn't come anywhere near us. I just seen tears come in his eyes and I just knew. I thought, I ain't going here.
I know you were devastated, but I actually feel that it impacted so much on the rest of the squad. It became such a huge story that it took something away from us.
Yeah.
Because it was like Bobby Robson gave you everything, didn't he? And you gave him, it was kind of with you, it was all or nothing. Mm-hmm. And he went against you and it was like so late.
Yeah, exactly.
That it impacted. I know it was difficult for you.
Yeah, especially, when you get just one day, one day you're thinking you're playing in the next World Cup and then the next minute you're on an airplane going back home. But I remember getting back home and the first person I rang was Brian Robson. And I says, I can't believe this. And but I was told by Terry Venables and Walter Smith, be careful. He says, because he's going to try and make a name for himself. No, it would be me. But it took us about a year to get over that.
You reacted. Do you think he was trying to make a name for himself by not having you?
I don't know why he dropped us. He said it was because I was going through a divorce. But a lot of players go through divorces or different things. There's nothing to do with that. Doesn't matter what I had going on in my life. Once I was on that football pitch, all my problems went away until I finished playing, So
did Hoddle not say to you, though, guys, get fit?
No.
And then there was the odd time you were eating kebab.
No, because, you see, get fit. 2 weeks before that, we met up again. We played South Africa at Old Trafford or something, and I battered them. I got man of the match, and he went, oh, because about 5 minutes ago or something, I did me cough a bit. He went, I need you fit for the World Cup. And then obviously we qualified against Italy, where I was, hit the headlines saying Gazza came back, conquered, battered the Italians.
Singing songs and a beer in your hand, I think that did it for you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. When I look back at it, because I remember going to the room and that afterwards, and I remember being like playing on the piano and having a drink, that sort of thing. But like you said, with the training we had was intense, and So, but like I said, it took us a year to get over that.
To go over it. Did you smash up his office?
Yeah, his room.
His room.
Well, I remember just going and I just knew I had a rough idea that I wasn't going to the World Cup. So I had, I think Phil Neville was at the room. He must have panicked because he was in the room, and I kicked the door in, 2-foot TV, and I smashed picked up his wooden, smashed his lamps and everything, went off it. And I think Phil did a runner quite quickly. I think it's the quickest he's ever moved, Phil. And then obviously he's like, apparently that the police were stayed. Bits of the TV, bits of his rooms on memorabilia on the behind the bar. Gazza did this. So
seriously, Gazza, when you look back at that now, you regret that, do you?
Yeah, of course, yeah, big time. Because not knowing, like people say, enjoy this World Cup because you never know, it could be your last one. Well, '94 broke my arm, so I missed the one in America with Graham Taylor. Well, I always call him Carlton. But yeah, what he's shouting out all the time.
Paul, we cannot have you in studio without talking about that incredible time in the Euros under Terry Venables, and you ran riot against us at Wembley. Euro 96. That goal against Scotland, incidentally, was that the best goal you think you've ever scored? Yeah,
well, I imagine now. I always started at Rangers, and I got hammered for 3 months. Pelters in the dressing room every day. I used to dread it, and I'm thinking. And then eventually, look at guys, you've seen what I'm like when I play for Rangers, but you haven't seen what I'm like when I play for my country. I'm different, so just wait. And I used to sit with Andy Gorham next to us in the dressing room at Rangers. But we did the dentist chair thing, and I went through that, and then I thought, I was getting followed by the press, and then I went to Wales and hid in a little place and did a little bit of fishing, and then I went to then I got followed again by the press, and then I went to my health farm for about 10 days to sort myself out, make sure I was in the right frame of mind. But it was the first game was the worst, because we used to get off the bus and every lad's going to the dressing room. Well, I used to go up the ramp. At the top of the ramp and get the feel of the fans, and then go back in the dressing room ready for it. And I remember going to the first game, going to the top of the ramp, and a guy comes out in tracksuit on. I went, Gazza, can I have a word? I went, yeah, who are you? He went, I'm the manager of the England women's team. They've just played. They want to meet you in the dressing room. I went, okay. I swear, I went in, and all I can see is just like 44 boobs and 22 down below.
Okay.
All nude, and I went, wow, I'm going to play in half an hour. So I've gone back to the dressing room.
Quite motivational.
The first game, 70 minutes, Terry Venables takes us up. He says, Gazza, what happened? Your mind wasn't on the game. I was telling him what I've just seen. You know what I mean? I've just thought, kicked out myself. So the second game, I went, right, guys, look, whoever scores, there's a dentist chair, because I've just been cane, and fortunate for me, I scored. But I just, when I think about it, I mean, I just at a glance in my eye, I seen Colin Henry coming for us. So I knew what I had to do. If he had to slow it down, I would have took the ball down and still beat him anyway. I mean, I seen him not long ago in London. He says, Gazza, what are you doing in London? I thought you lived in Bournemouth. And I said, what are you doing in London? I thought I left you at Wembley. But he's like, he hates it when I say it. But yeah, that celebration, and I dare not look at Andy Gorham. Just ran past him because I knew he'd be livid.
Listen, Gazza, in that last commercial break, you were having a word with Simon. I was having a word with Martin. Tell me about the atmosphere in the England camp when Hoddle didn't take him to 98.
Yeah, I mean, look, Glenn had to make the decision that he felt was best for England, but the devastation it left, maybe for the nation as well, but certainly in that dressing room afterwards, all the talk was of you and not being there, who else? Because I think when it came to a World Cup, that was your stage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You look back, 96, it's in England, it's Wembley. The bigger the stage was when you turned up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
in 98, you were getting ready for it. And then when they pulled the plug on it, it devastated the group. I think it was such a talking point within the group.
Yeah.
It was counterproductive, the decision he made.
Yeah, it was really nice of the players, like, to do a bit in their books, saying, I would have done better if I would have been in the World Cup and that, which was nice of the guys to say that. But for me personally, it was like, it's disastrous. It was a nightmare, Like I said, I don't know what had effect, and I know I remember getting on the jet going back with Ian Walker, and I think it was Dean Dublin. I think, I'm not too sure, all in tears and that. I was distraught, me.
Well, it didn't happen for you then. Do you think it might happen for England next summer in America? Do you think have they got it within themselves to go all the way?
We've been saying it since 1966, I mean, in our World Cup 1990, you think about that, Chris Waddle, when it hit the post, could have went either side, like, In fact, I remember, Chris, when we were on the plane back, and we're just about 5 minutes arriving at Luton, I went, I just don't know why, I just got in the mic, and I went, Chris, your penalty? Yeah. I says, this is where it landed, your ball in Luton Airport. He's like, well, he said...
Do you have a word for Chris Waddle? I mean, I think he's one of the best players that I ever played against.
He was lethal.
But he supported you
he
so
was,
well.
He was fantastic. I haven't seen him for years. I will speak to him now and again. But after that, he was especially at Tottenham, when I followed at Tottenham, and he looked after us, because he had already been there a year. And I don't know why, but I needed a translator. Well, I say, but no one could understand him when I was saying Geordie. He was like, Chris, what's he saying? Chris had to translate for us. It was embarrassing. But yeah, he was, what a player though. When he dropped his shoulder, half the crowd went out the stadium.
But what about those England players now, Gazza? I mean, you've got Bellingham.
Yeah.
You've got other players there of a seriously high calibre. How about Harry Kane and the impact he's made at Bayern Munich?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Just, that's I'm still thinking about that now. Why Bayern Munich and not Real Madrid? I mean, loads of people would have went to Real Madrid, but it's obviously seen some of there. And he's what's it called? Even his first game, I think he scored on his debut, and he's never stopped scoring since. But when you're in a team as good as Bayern Munich, you expected to score because the players around him are going to supply him with goals. With chances left, right, and centre. Yeah. Like when we say Lineker, I just remember when we say Lineker and he didn't score for the first few games. So I pulled Terry Venables and I went, you told me he was good, he's crap. And he went, what do you mean? I went, he's not even scored. He went, give me a chance. So it took us a while to work him out, because Lynch do his finger like it. So that means he's spinning off. And if he's going like that, he's coming short. And then the next game after that, he scored 4. And he won the Golden Boot.
Paul Gascoigne in studio with myself, Simon, and Martin Keown. As we finish off with Gazza at this particular time, been looking at his book, Paul Gascoigne 8, The Real Gazza Revealed for the First Time. Paul, it's fair to say that you don't shirk anything in this book, though.
No,
you do take on some of the subject matter that is probably tough for you to speak about today, but nonetheless you speak about it. Your challenges off the field of play coming up the 28th of October, 28th of this month. I'm 14 years clean, no alcohol at all. That's just the way I've gone about it.
You got that right, Jim.
And I'm
what the date or not?
I think so, yeah.
That's
and just
what you got paid for.
Keep cracking on with it. You were a huge talent on the pitch, but it's well documented you had challenges off it.
Yeah.
Do you still drink?
The last couple of years have just been like 2-day blips, and then maybe 4 months without a drink, and then it's like with me, I think it's if I had a drink for like 2 days, it's a consequence. Like the last time was, I think it was about a few months ago, or whatever, and I didn't have a drink for 3 or 4 months, and then I had a day off just having a bottle of Serrano, and I went to put the bottle in the bin, and I tripped on the front mat and fractured my kneecap. So that was in the hospital now. So then I got through that. So really, it's the consequences, Years ago, I used to be a happy drunk, and now it's like if I have a drink and I'm a bit drunk, then I get sad, and then I lock myself away. It's not as if I go out and drink. It's like I was indoors on my own, so it's a waste of time anyway. It's not as if I go out and enjoy it. And I just sit there and watching a movie and that's it, fall asleep. And then I think, what did I do that for, you know? And then it takes us another week to just get back to like the Paul personality again, you know. So, you know, me and drink don't get on really, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, I'm better without it. So it's just, with me, it's more of like, got to keep myself busy, you know. I don't know why. It's like at the moment I'm like a housewife on my own though. OCD is like cleaning up for no reason. What can I do? I can clean up now. And it's like, if there's a bit of fluff and I pick it up, then I have to go and get the brush out and brush the whole house. It drives me nuts. So sometimes with this OCD, it's like living 24 hours, 48 hours and 24-hour day, which is stupid, really.
Are you happy enough in your own company?
Yeah. Well, it's harder because people say, why'd you go home and just sit in the bed and watch the TV or whatever? I says, listen, when you've been, like me, not being big-headed, but when you've been out and you get stopped every 2 minutes, people want a selfie or talk to you about this or that, it's like, it can be draining. Like, so it's nice sometimes. Like, not long ago, I was shopping, going down the aisle, and a guy was coming towards us. He's got 2 kids. One was 5 and something like that. One was 6. And he's got close to us. He's looked. And he went on his knees and started crying his eyes out. And the kids are like, looking at us like, what you hit me dad for? It's like, mate, get up. Kids think I've hit you. He's like, oh, sorry, but you're my hero. The kids don't know yet. I said, well, they will do. God almighty. So, you know, I still have that. And sometimes I feel like I'm getting pestered more now than I did when I actually played. But the public have been fantastic. I think it was because my dad said, look, remember how famous you come or how good you are. Remember where you come from. And I always took that. So since I made my first game, I've never turned down an autograph or a photo, you know.
Do you struggle to deal with hero status?
No, not at all. You got so used to it over the years, and I got it at such a young age, regards come back from the World Cup, because I remember getting off the plane, just getting on and getting in it, went, Gazza, be careful. Just be careful. And I didn't know what he meant until I actually got off the plane. It was like, wow. You know, and when you're actually in it, sometimes you're enjoying it, you know, thinking, oh, this is fantastic. Like anywhere else in the world, once you're famous for life. But in England, when you're famous, there's only one way to go after that. They'll try and put you down and down, you know. So I have the battles with them, you know, and sometimes you get tired, like just trying to keep the wrong people happy. And not the right people
it's
happy.
a topic we speak about quite a lot, Simon, isn't it? The media attention.
I do. I agree.
And this habit in this country of putting people down. At times you didn't help yourself, Paul.
No,
you admit
no.
that.
Well, I subscribe to that view. I subscribe to that view that in this country we like to build people up so we can whittle them down. It's a country that looks at people with envy rather than admiration sometimes. And sometimes there's a reason for that, and sometimes it's not justified. But I think culturally it's not something that I enjoy. Paul was, to some extent, the architect of his own downfall in certain respects. And it attracted certain people, like I made the point earlier on, and I'm not trying to be controversial. I think when I watched Paul and looked at him, I always thought, I wish someone would look after him better. Not just because he's entitled to it, but because he probably needs it. But my attitude was, he needs proper looking after, and this is not the right kind of influences, and that was my big thing for you.
Yeah, he's right, you know, because if you look at today's players, they've got everything on a play for them. You know, I went to the Tottenham training ground when it just had sort of got built. And there's this guy, honestly, he was huge. He was about 6'6", full of muscle. Now, when he must be the fitness coach, are you? He went, no. I said, what do you do then for Tottenham?
Security.
Yeah, he says, if the wife calls us up at 2 o'clock in the morning, the baby's crying, I'll go and look after the baby. I went, wow. He says, if they need shopping, I have to do the shopping for them. I said, what else do they do? And then the players like park the car up and go walk 100 yards where we would, and they've got buggy cars. So they park the car up, then sit in the buggy car, and then get taken to like 50 yards. And the buggy car is like, wow, how easy it is for them.
Yeah.
And I thought that's why they would struggle, because they've got everything on a play for them. We were played. You know, we had the graph for everything we had. You know, my gym was at Newcastle. It was a little bowling hut. We was being there with just, you know, little weights in there and the scruffy weights and stuff like that.
Well, what are we now since you finished playing? 20, 22, 23 years?
Botox,
Since you stopped playing football?
Oh, yeah. I mean, 37, yeah. 21, 22 years, yeah.
And have you come to terms with the loss? Because listening to you, I don't think you have.
No.
You've
I
not
find
come
it hard to
terms
watch
yet
it.
with the loss, because it is tell us about when you stopped playing.
Yeah.
And I think with you, though, it was times 10, wasn't it? Because of the notoriety you had.
Yeah, because
the
that was
superstar that you became. And I think you enjoyed it probably too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, like I said, everything was on a plate for us, you know. Like if I went on the TV and said I'd love a guitar, I'd go home and there'd be like 3 or 4 guitars outside my door. It's like, wow, almighty. And, you know...
You also talked about you find it difficult to watch a current day player. Because I actually watch it now with joy.
Yeah, do you?
Whereas for years, it was difficult to watch because we couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch someone doing what you enjoy most of all.
Well, you couldn't do that much against me, could you, really? I mean, I destroyed Arsenal quite a few times.
Luckily, you went off to Italy.
I started off with scoring with the sock on my debut, so Dave even had no chance, bless him. I ruined that fella. But now, I mean, you know, the big games with Arsenal were intense. I didn't really enjoy them because it was tough. But you know, I did score a couple of goals. But for me, it's like I can't see a crap player getting paid 300 grand. You can't even trap a bag of cement. It just drives me nuts. But you know, England. You talk about England now. We've got some.
Who do you see in that England team?
Well, I think
it reminds you of yourself.
We keep the ball at the back. I like Rashford. I just wish he would smile now and again. It winds me up. Like when you score, smile at least because
Enjoy.
you know because. He says he got a bloke that's got 3 kids and he takes them to the maths. It costs a lot of money. Then they all want England shares. It costs money. They want food. Costs money. And then he probably gets home about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning after driving home, where the players are back home at 11:30, getting massive wages. And if you're going to score, please at least celebrate. Like,
have fun.
Yeah, because you know when I remember being a ball boy at Newcastle years ago when I was 15. Now I watched Chris Waddle play for the reserves or something, and then I used to be like ball boy, watched it. I stopped being a ball boy when I remember standing in the dugout when Cloughie was there, Brian Clough. One of my little jobs was to clean up the dressing room, and it was his dressing room, Brian Clough's. He caned us again, and I went, I just can't wait to get rid of this guy because he's getting on my nerves. And then I remember I played for Tottenham against Nottingham Forest. And I beat a couple of players. I've run a ball out the byline. I went, oh, God. So I put my head down. I'm walking back. And I'm just here, Gascoigne. I went, that doesn't sound like Terry Venables. And my head's still down. And I just look at Brian Clough going off with this, get back for your effing team now. I went, oh, okay. And I've run back. And I've looked at Terry Venables. He went, I went, oh, God, jeez. But, you know, so, but yeah, you know, but I think with England team, especially last year or the day before, you had so many just individual players.
Yeah.
You know, the Bellingham one, and then Rashford. It was.
What about now? Do you think they're capable of winning it?
Yeah, well, if the keeper stops having as much touches than the rest of the players, I just, you know, it's all about passing nowadays. You never see any player like, I'd like to see a player get the ball and say, have a go at him, man. Go on, just two players. Because, you know.
Cole Palmer does that, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He bucks the trend, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I know we've got to pass this, but I'm going to run.
Yeah, and I like Foden. He'll have a little go. You know, I like him. We've got quite a few individual players. But, I mean, I watched him the other night. I didn't think it was any Star Trek I wasn't on, so I decided to watch the England game. So
it strikes me you don't really enjoy watching much football.
No, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just so weird that I played, you know. Like I said, some of the stuff I did on the pitch, and I'm thinking, how did I do that? But you look at some of the players, and I'm thinking, just have a go. You know, it's 0-0, it's 5 minutes to go. Just have a, and then I'm just keeping it at the back, and it winds me up, and I can't attack it.
Listen, at the end of all this, and the book's out, and many people will buy it and read it. I don't know how to phrase it. How do you want fans, just not just England fans, football fans everywhere, people in general, to remember Paul Gascoigne?
Well, I'm not dead yet.
You're still with us.
How do you want them to think of you?
How do you want people to think of you? Thanks, Nat.
Just a really, really nice, genuine guy. You know, that will, you know, like I'd do anything for anyone.
Ruthless on the pitch.
Ruthless. I just knew I was good enough. I wasn't bothered who I played against. I just knew when I was, if I was on the ball, I just knew beforehand. I just knew how good I was going to be. Like, I used to be in the tunnel against players and look at them to see, mate. I remember seeing the Port Cecil guy, poor guy. I went, yeah, mate, I just heard your headlines. I says, and welcome to your worst nightmare, mate. Bless you. I bagged in 2 goals, and then after the game, I couldn't resist it. I just took my boots off, went in their dressing room and gave them, yeah, mate, one day you'll play like that.
Brilliant.
He still got them. I seen them not long ago, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Gazza, listen. Now, you know that iconic picture of Vinnie Jones and you?
Yeah.
When he looks as if he's squeezing your crown jewels.
Yeah.
Was he? Or were you hamming it up?
Well, I nearly lost my family allowance, put it that way. Yeah, Vinny, he meant it, put it that way, honestly. Yeah.
Gazza, what can we say? Thank you so much for being with us live.
My pleasure.
On the show this week.
Good to see Martin and Simon.
Wish you well,
himself, to be fair.
It's good to see you.
Cheers.
Stay well.